Hello Twitch and YouTube. This is LiquidSnute versus Bbyong, Game 2 on Vani Research Station. And this is my first time streaming on Twitch and casting a professional Starcraft 2 stream. And this is Game 2 between these two players, LiquidSnute versus Bbyong. This is a Zerg versus Terran match. And let's see, apparently while streaming to Twitch, Starcraft 2 automatically turned down my graphics settings. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I'm still on Ultra, but the creep looks like it's set at low or maybe medium, but hey, that's okay because we're just here for the action, right? Now, with Legacy of the Void coming out, I'm hoping to get a beta invite. I got a beta invite to Hearthstone and an alpha invite to Heroes of the Storm, but according to my friend Element, who you can find on YouTube, he has a lot of Legacy of the Void content. A shout out to him. Apparently those two betas were a lot more open than the Legacy of the Void beta, so I'm not counting my chickens, but I'm really hoping to get one before the release so I can show you guys all the new units and all that great stuff. I've been following it on Reddit, I've been watching Total Biscuit stream it on Twitch, and apparently everybody agrees that Cyclones are insane. And also that the Battlecruiser Warp ability is maybe not exactly what you'd want to see. It's still not super great, but maybe we can see a streamer put it to good use here in the beta and can show Blizzard what it can actually be used for. So here we are with Bbyong versus Snute. In the last game, Bbyong did choose to go a mech route, and so that was interesting to see. He did... let's go... Sorry about that, a little bit of a hiccup in the stream. I had to pause and get out and actually let my Facebook followers know that I'm on Twitch. So if this is your first time seeing me, I am on Facebook at /FalconPaladin. I'm on Twitter at /FalconPaladin. And then also I have a YouTube channel, and I am on Twitch. So these days, to be a professional gamer, let's see, I'm earning like 10 cents right now, so... depending on your definition of professional, I am a professional because I'm earning money, but not very much, but whatever. I'm doing this for the love of the game, not for the money, but we will see if that changes as time goes on. Anyway, you need to be on a lot of different social media platforms and different streaming sites and upload sites and all that. So I am slowly getting there. I have about 55 videos on my YouTube channel right now. I have a lot of StarCraft 2 casts, which is what this one is. I also have a lot of Hearthstone. And I have started doing some Heroes of the Storm. Now, I'm not a huge MOBA fan. I was never really much into League of Legends or Dota, so I am not as great with Heroes of the Storm. I haven't played it nearly as much as the other two games that I previously mentioned. I'll probably start doing some casts as well as some older games that I have. I have some, let's see, X-Wing Alliance, which is a fun game I picked up off of Good Old Games about a month or so ago. It is hard, though. Let me tell you what, I've died a lot there. But maybe I'll pick that up and show you kind of some of what gaming looked like back in the 90s. Now, as it says on my profile, I am a 23-year veteran gamer of Blizzard games. My first game was Warcraft 2, rather. My cousin had it. My parents were not interested in letting me get that game. It was a little too violent. And so when Starcraft came out, a buddy of mine, a bunch of us, went in on a copy. We each pitched in about 10 bucks for it. And we bought a single copy and went home and immediately burned 5 copies on it on my friend's CD burner. So it was not very legal, but it was a lot of fun playing LAN games there and single-player games, and I fell in love with the Zerg race at that point. So Zerg is my favorite race, it's my main race, I love casting it. I just like the reactive nature of it. There are no really set builds in Zerg, unless it's a Zerg versus Zerg, or unless it's like a Roach Rush, or things like that. It really depends on what your opponent is going to do, what you're going to choose to, what units to produce and what bases to create, things like that. So, speaking of which, we're going to throw up the production tab. I should have had that up earlier. I apologize. And here we have Snute going 3 base here, and as Bbyong has his 2nd base up. We have 2 Hellions moving on out to the Zelnaga Watchtower, checking a quick look to see what's going on. I believe they're going to look for the presence of the 3rd. We have a Starport heading on over onto the Tech Lab here. Probably some Banshees coming out. Yes, So maybe some more mech play from Bbyong. Maybe he feels like game 1, in which he did lose using his mech. He felt like he made some good progress. And it encouraged him to try it again here in game 2. So we'll see what he decides to do. Barracks not really doing much of anything. Factory, starport, and another command center going down. So we'll have to see if this is just early harass. A good ramp block there by LiquidSnute, preventing the Hellions from getting up into the main. These creep tumors desperately trying to get down before the Hellions come back and pick them off. And I think they will. Yes, the Hellions are not interested in getting up there just quite yet. And the 2 creep tumors do go down, which is going to help a lot. In defense of this third, the Queens can get down here on the creep and are fast enough to actually take care of these Hellions. Are we... what are we doing here? Getting cloak on the Banshee. So maybe these are just here to prevent Zerglings from getting out and doing some scouting. Hellions do pretty well against small groups of Zerglings. This Roach coming down by himself. He says, I'm going to take you guys down. Get out of my house. Get out of my neighborhood. And they do. The Hellions oblige, and they do leave. So we have some Zerglings over here. I'm not sure what they're doing. They can't get out unless they go through the main, so who knows. But I don't think we have we don't have a Spore Crawler. No, we don't. No Spore Crawler down. And yes, now the Spore Crawler going down, but it's a little bit too late. This Banshee is going to get a lot of kills while this detection is coming up. The lair is not even close to being done yet. This Banshee is going to do a ton of damage to LiquidSnute. Moving around, just trying to pick off workers here and there. Not really worrying about the Queens necessarily. Just trying to pick up workers. 8 worker kills there. Now focusing down a Queen. They inject. The Spore Crawler is now up. And I think the Banshee recognizes its usefulness. Might be close to an end. It can still kind of sit out here and poke around at the edges. Poke at these roaches. Won't be able to kill too many of them, but just doing damage is enough to make them a little bit less effective in a later battle. So we have a Transfuse going down. Is the lair complete? No, not quite yet, so we can't chase that Banshee away. But the Banshee says, you know what, 8 kills. I feel really comfortable about that. A huge group of Hellbats coming up here at the 9-minute mark is going to do a lot of damage. Scouting here with an Overlord, seeing exactly what's going on. A lot of factories. It is going to be mech play. So the answer to this is going to have to be Swarm Hosts eventually from our Zerg player. So the lair's up, 3 bases up. In comes 64 to 54, so the Zerg player has that lead, which is very nice for him. A push with the Hellbats and the Banshees coming in now, though. A forward Spore Crawler going to provide some help against these Banshees. It is finished now. This looks like enough roaches maybe to push things back, yes, especially without medevac support. So these Zerglings are going to come down, do a scout, maybe try to pick off some units here at the 3rd base, and yes, they will be able to pick up some SCVs, which will do very nice in helping him keep that economic advantage that he has. Killing 1 Hellion, trying to focus down a 2nd Hellion, but the Hellion plus the Banshee is just too much. Oh no, the Banshee does go down. I apologize, I did not call that quite correctly. 2 Hellions do die. I'm not sure if any SCVs actually died there for Bbyong or not, but in the end, it was a successful move for the Zerg player. Snute has to be happy about taking down those 2 Hellions that cannot become Hellbats anymore. We have 2 gas going down here, 2 gas going down there, 2 gas going down there. So yes, this just means a really gas-heavy composition of Swarm Hosts. Evolution Chambers coming down. Do we see an Infestation Pit quite yet? No, we don't. I believe it looks like Snute is going to be happy with just upgraded roaches to take care of this. He's going to try to expand to the gold. Might be a little bit difficult with this many Hellions on the field. They do have +1 upgrades, so they'll do a lot of damage to these roaches. But the base goes down without incident. So if he can take this gold, LiquidSnute's going to be in a fantastic spot economically. Just small groups of roaches in different spots to guard against these Hellions. It is enough. They're going to try to burn down a Queen here, and yes, they take down a Queen, get a creep tumor on fire, but do not kill it, which, okay, picking off a single Queen at this point is probably not the best. I mean, there are 11 Queens on the field for Snute, so he can probably afford to lose 1 there. He recognizes this mech army is not going to come out anytime soon, and they're going to be slow and bulky when they do, so we need to be able to have a lot of bases. Snute says we need to be able to lose a base if necessary, and readjust somewhere else. So Infestation Pit comes down. We have a big bank, 600 minerals, 1300 gas for our Zerg player. Production tab shows we are getting the Enduring Locust upgrade, which just means those locusts that spawn from the Swarm Hosts will last longer, which is super important. Makes them so much more effective, but a big Banshee attack here down at the 5th base, we're going to call it. Trying to snipe this hatchery down. The Queen army has arrived, though. This is enough Queens to chase those Banshees away, especially with Overseer support. More workers have died, however. It is 70 to 68 harvesters. Bbyong has closed that gap through some effective harassment. that is something I need to improve on in my Terran play. Just harassing Zerg, not letting them get a huge economic advantage, a huge base advantage. Although at this point it is 3 bases to 5, so maybe it is bigger than we'd expect. Swarm hosts are building, not quite popping out yet. We might have to sack this base before they come out. It is a big Banshee army with that +1 upgrade, and a big Hellbat army as well. But it looks like the queens are popping out. We're going to burrow the swarm hosts here at the back, out of range of that scan. And yes, we just evacuate. Snute says we're going to go ahead and give this base up. No big deal. Not a huge deal anyway. Going to go ahead and try to take down the Spore Crawler. The Extraction's going to die. He's still on 4 bases. We have a push coming in from these roaches. Trying to pick off some reinforcements. Managing, maybe going to get a tank, Thor. And yes, it looks like they will get a Thor. Oh no, backed off instead, recognizing there's a tank up here and a Thor. Killing workers left and right. But the push continues on up into the 3rd base of LiquidSnute. The swarm hosts are throwing down locusts, and yes, able to clean up these Hellbats before too many of them die. The Banshees, though, focusing down queens. I don't know if there's enough anti-air here to take down these Banshees. Locusts cannot shoot up, and so that makes the... Yes, gonna try to focus down these swarm hosts, doing a great job of it. The Locusts are coming up, but not quite fast enough to deal with this. The SCV is doing a good job repairing the Hellbats. Hellbats are one of the units in Starcraft 2 that can be healed and repaired. So Medivacs and SCVs can help them out. We're going to zoom out a little bit here. We have Locusts coming on up. Again, trying to take down these Hellbats, managing to get 3 of them, but we still have Thors in the back. If we look at our supply, it is 141 to 126. The Zerg is in a tenuous position. The Banshee just going to town on these swarm hosts. This Banshee now has 6 kills. I would not be surprised if most of those were swarm hosts and queens, just doing a great job. I think that was the missing component here, and what we saw in game 1 is that the number of Banshees here able to take down those swarm hosts is fantastic. Some bad pathing here from Bbyong. 1 Thor sitting at the ramp here. He should move this guy up in order to let the rest of the Thors in. And yes, that is what happens. I don't know if there's enough DPS from these Locusts to take down this Thor to overcome the repair from the SCV. And yes, there barely is. Barely able to kill it before they expire. Banshee, again, just going to town. 10 kills now. Randomly attacking an Extractor. Probably should be trying to take out a Swarm Host, but Snute is fighting with everything he has, although Bbyong is down to 2 bases back here, so maybe he's not feeling super great about his chances either. We have Vipers on the field now, taking some huge hits from the Thors. Snute calls the GG. These Thors are enough to clean out his main. He recognizes that, and Bbyong takes game 2. So, big time win there from Bbyong. Again, I think the difference was just the Banshees. It was something that makes the swarm hosts a little bit less effective. Attacks from the air are very strong against them, as they cannot attack up, obviously. There were a lot of queens out, but not enough queens to take down the number of Banshees that Bbyong had. So I think if Snute would have played this game differently, he probably would have gotten more more queens to deal with those Banshees, maybe even some Hydralisks, a small group of Hydras to snipe down those Banshees would have been done well for him. I think he waited a little bit too long as well to get his swarm hosts out. His infestation pit was a little bit late. I think he was a little bit maybe too greedy, taking so many bases while effectively the Terran was on 2 base. He had to recognize the push was coming fairly soon and waited a little bit too late. But hey, Snute is a professional player. He is better than I will ever be. And so this is the end of this game. The series is tied 1-1. We'll go to game 3 next. I might take a little bit of a break before doing that, but this, again, if you like what you saw, hit that like button, subscribe to my Twitch channel, subscribe to me on YouTube. You can visit me on Twitter at twitter.com/FalconPaladin, and until next time, you take care of yourself. Okay, and we're back after that little break. I think I probably need a little "we will be back later" sign to put up during those times. I've seen that on Twitch streams before, but let's go ahead and pull up Game 3. And yes, there it is. This is LiquidSnute versus Bbyong Game 3 on Overgrowth LE. I believe this is actually a best of 3 series, not a best of 5, as I've said previously. I apologize for the information, or the misinformation, rather. And so at this point, LiquidSnute versus Bbyong, the winner of this game, will take this best of 3 series. So we will see. Will it be Bbyong coming down from 0-1 to take a win against a very good Zerg player, LiquidSnute? Again, Bbyong's resume is not super impressive, but he is a strong Terran. He did make it to the semifinals of Katowice in 2015, just a month or so ago. So he is fairly strong, obviously, to get to that point, and he is obviously giving LiquidSnute some trouble there with those mech builds. We will see if he chooses to go mech again, or if possibly this is something that he would rather go Marine Medevac Widowmine and Marauder, I guess, M to the 4th, which is, again, also strong, but I assume Snute's Mutalisk, Baneling, Zergling attack and defense is strong as well. So we're going to speed up a little bit here. And as we just watch drones go down, we see an early barracks go down, probably for some harassment from a Reaper for Bbyong, and perhaps going into an expansion. This is a fairly wide ramp, or wide mouth to your natural to defend. It can be difficult to defend against roaches and banelings and zerglings, so he might feel a little bit unsure about himself taking that, but in the end, yes, he is saving up money for that expansion, and pop, there it goes. So Bbyong gets his expansion out, but in response we have an early spawning pool going down for LiquidSnute. Let's slow it down. Do we have any zerglings on the way? We have Overlord. We are not making zerglings. Interesting. So we went an early pool. We're getting speed. And then LiquidSnute takes an expansion. I don't quite understand what the purpose of this is. We do have 4 zerglings coming out now. Speed is about halfway done, so they'll be effective in another minute or so. Maybe it's just going to be enough to get in here and deny this expansion real quick. That bunker, if it gets down, though, is a huge problem for Snute. And I think it will finish before they get there, especially since speed is not quite done yet. So, I don't know. I guess maybe this is a build that will kind of punish an early expanding Bbyong, but not put you behind too much economically. We do have the hatchery coming down, so I mean, it's not like he's a single base all-inning here. Maybe a kind of a happy medium between a macro build and an aggressive build, but bunker going down. There are 4 Marines on the field. These 4 Zerglings are not going to do anything. Yep, they get chased away. We do see more Zerglings on the way up, though, and more Zerglings on the way up. Speed should finish soon. Yes, here come the Zerglings. They're going to move in and see if they can kill any SCVs without being attacked by that bunker, but I think the bunker was placed correctly to where Zerglings can maybe attack SCVs that are up along this far, far edge, but maybe not even then. So I'm going to try to break down these rocks, make the Zerglings do something if they're not going to kill SCVs, I suppose. Queen coming out, throwing down a creep tumor, getting that creep established early. And looks like I think we're just going to do workers from now on. Yep, just workers for Snute. Going to try to catch back up economically. It is 27 to 24 harvesters. You want to be up a little bit more than that on the Terran player, especially if there has been 0 harassment so far. But I think Bbyong, when he saw those Zerglings, he recognized that there was not a huge economy going on for Snute, and said, okay, if that's your game, I'm going to go ahead and sit back and get my economy up and maybe surpass you in income. And in the meantime, I'm going to build a supply depot wall across here, which is very nice. Strong enough to keep out Zerglings. Banelings can take them down, I think, in 3 or 4 Baneling hits. I'll have to do some research on that and figure it out. But anyway, supply depot wall, great supply depot wall of Bbyong is going up now. We do have some Hellions moving on out. Zerglings are moving to intercept. I don't know if there's much space for the Hellions to maneuver. There is a queen there. Yes, the Zerglings get up there in time. And they might get taken. Nope, they do not get taken by surprise. Getting there on that creep, getting that speed bonus that they get on the creep, which is a nice little speed bonus. See, things are pretty fast even off, but on creep they are especially quick. And you just don't want to mess with them, especially if you're Hellions. Mess with them on the creep, you will probably get surrounded and die, even though you are pretty quick yourself. So 3 queens now out for Snute, throwing down creep tumors. And not... yes, 4 total queens, 1 back at the main, 1 running home to inject at the natural. 4 Hellions coming out now, but we do have the queens ready to defend. He did snipe off a single creep tumor, which is good for him. Don't want that creep to get out of control. Third base is down. I'm not sure if Bbyong knows about it, though. Going to move on into the creep, move back out again. If we take a look at the vision... Yes, he knows the third is there, so he has to recognize that Snute is not planning any kind of crazy 2-base all-in at this point, which is nice for him. Roach is moving on out. We are getting a Baneling Nest and a Spore Crawler. I think Snute realizing that, yeah, he doesn't want Banshees to come in and wreck his day again, and which is good for him because there are Banshees on the way. The Spore Crawlers are already up and ready to go. Our Queen production is pretty good. Baneling Nest being made. I think we're going to see a Roach, Baneling, Zergling all in here. Going to try to break that front wall down, get into the natural, and wreck everything that Bbyong has. So that'll be interesting to see. LiquidSnute is ready for this Banshee. Again, the Spore Crawler is down. Is there a little sweet spot there, though? Yes, a bit of a sweet spot. No. Nope. The Banshee is seen. A 1-to-1 fight. The Queen will die to the Banshee, so it needs to get some shots off and get it down to the red at least. Nope. Not able to do so. The Banshee is at 3 kills now, 59 health. It does not regenerate. Another Queen pops out just in time. A couple shots from that Spore Crawler do go off. Some pretty good reaction time from Bbyong getting the Banshee out of there before it just straight up dies. Some harassment here, and here we are at the front door with Banelings, with Zerglings. Baneling's going to focus down that bunker. Yes, manages to do so. Zerglings getting in there, getting a surround on the SCVs, on the Marines, doing a huge damage to the economy of Bbyong. 51 to 48 harvesters, but it does get cleaned up. These SCVs with their drills do manage to keep things completely safe. Well, I guess not completely safe, but enough safe to stay alive. A lot of damage has gone down to this orbital command. So I think that was a gamble by Snute. He was able to walk right on in with the Banelings and the Zerglings and the Roaches. And income is now 57 to 51. Again, doesn't quite have that lead. Evolution Chamber going down for upgrades. More gas going down. It is still 3 bases that are saturated. He did a good job saturating those bases while attacking Bbyong. Bbyong's 3rd base is up as well, however, and mules are coming down. So his economy is going to look pretty good. We are pushing the creep up along here on the right side. Let's see if we can get an idea as to what Snute is planning on doing. And we got creep tumors coming out. We are upgrading. Yes, we are upgrading to... Is that a lair? Yes, it is a lair because those were slow Banelings. Yep, lair popping out now. 4th base going down for LiquidSnute. This is turning into a little bit more of a macro game. There was some excitement early on with those Zerglings, but I think so far Snute's attempts to end the game earlier than Bbyong wants have failed. They might have put him on the back foot a little bit. It just depends on what we're gonna see here from these queens, from these upgrades. Infestation Pit going down. So does he recognize? Yeah, he recognizes it's mech once again from Bbyong. He's getting those swarm hosts out here at the 12-minute mark. I think he's going to be fairly safe to do so. That wall is being constructed by Bbyong. He is at 145 to 135 supply, so doing a good job, not just using excess supply to get this down, but supply depots that he needs to build are being built at a location where they are useful. So counterattacks from Zerglings along this left side, SCV raiding parties will not be successful. It's very difficult to get through here as Zerglings unless you have some good Baneling hits. So we are moving Hellions, just checking to make sure there's nothing untoward going on up here at the left. And a push coming out with 3 Thors, 4 Banshees, and a tank this time. I don't know if we had a tank in the push in the last game, in Game 2, but here comes Bbyong. Going to try to make this attack work. Going to try to get a timing here at 13 minutes that Snute is not ready for. Swarm hosts are being built, but again, are they in time? That is the question. Overseer coming down, more Spore Crawlers going down, Enduring Locust upgrade, not quite finished yet. It is a fairly slow upgrade, it will take some time. Bbyong is heading for the 3rd base of the Zerg. Swarm hosts are burrowing in preparation. Queens are trying to snipe down these Banshees as best they can, but Hellbat's coming on into, just roasting everything up front. Locust trying to take them down, repairs coming down on the SCVs as well. Thor sitting in the back, 5 kills, 1 kill, 3 kills. Banshees again trying to focus down those queens. Scans, very, very useful at this point. Forcing the Swarm host to retreat out of the range of those scans. The Thors are still alive. Roach is coming around back, trying to pick off reinforcements, but it's not quite enough. There are 2-2 upgrades on these Thors, and they are just tearing through the Roaches. Now, we do have 1-1 upgrade for our Roaches on the Zerg side, but it's just not quite enough, I don't think. The Thors are pushing in here, doing some damage. We're being forced to pull drones off the line to try to keep things alive. The Swarm hosts to buy time for the Locusts to come on out. The Locusts do come out. They're focusing down one of the Thors. They do manage to kill. No, they don't manage to kill it. The SCV repair is too strong. And I think this might be it for Snute. It is 112 to 171 supply. Reinforcements constantly coming down for Bbyong. Drones not mining at all here at this third base. Constant scans coming down. Swarm hosts exploding in blood all over the place. The Thor's just doing so much damage. 20 kills, 18 kills, 20 kills, 15 kills, 11 kills on these Thors, 16 kills on these Thors. Tearing everything apart. This last group of Locusts might be the last chance. Focusing down SCVs. Trying to kill Thors. Not able to do so. LiquidSnute calls the GG. And Bbyong takes this series 2-1 after being down 1-0. So well played by him. This mech attack, his timings are good. His upgrades are good. His ability to bring Banshees is just a fantastic choice that is really hard for Zerg to deal with, as well as the repairing SCVs. He can afford to do it. He does have the 67 total workers here at the 16-minute mark, even after losing some here on the front lines of battle. So congratulations to Bbyong winning that series, this best-of-3 series, 2-1 against LiquidSnute. Again, a really good Zerg player. So congratulations to him. If you like what you saw, go ahead and hit like on YouTube if that's where you are. Subscribe to me here on Twitch if you like to as well. I am planning on being here nearly every single day to show you my gaming of Blizzard games and other assorted stuff that I am interested in as well. So hit me up on Facebook, /FalconPaladin, Twitter, /FalconPaladin. Be notified when I will be streaming on Twitch. And until next time, you take care of yourself.